Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the power of journaling. This is actually something I've been talking to so many people about recently, and I actually think it's one of the most important things ever. Journaling alone is life-changing. Even if you're not using it for manifestation, even if you're not using the journaling for anything at all, you must be journaling. You have to be writing stuff down. You have to be writing stuff down. Your brain can only hold so much, right? Okay, but even though your brain can only hold so much, and especially for the overthinkers who are on my YouTube channel, people who overthink are more likely to be more of the creative kind of people, more of the people who like creative expression, more of the people who have different kind of gifts regarding the sacral chakra and the throat chakra and the third eye chakra. But for the people who are overthinkers, it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing at the same time, because an overthinker is eventually going to get overwhelmed by their own thoughts. And there's certain ways that you can deal with this. I might teach a video just about overthinking crystals. But the easiest way for any kind of overthinker to stop overthinking is by taking a journal and then writing your ideas and thoughts down in the journal. But most of you don't know how to journal. When you get a journal, so let me show you an example. I'll show you a journal of mine. And I used to do this back then. So I would take a journal, right? And I don't know if anyone else has done this, because I was an overthinker back then too. I'm still kind of an overthinker now. Overthinkers are always going to be overthinkers, but you got to shift the energy. You have to become aware of it and then transmute the energy into something that'll benefit you. So in my handy dandy notebook, I would have 100,000 of these, and maybe some of you guys have the same exact problem. You're like, okay, this one's for journaling about this one's about journaling about what I did today, and then the next one's journaling about crystals, and the next one's journaling about my thought process. And then now you have about 5 or 6 journals, and maybe this might really open some of your eyes. Like, oh, that's me. So basically, this might really open some of your eyes, and you just have a journal, a bunch of journals, and you're not really writing in them. I used to do that back then, and then I realized, I'm like, okay, none of these journals are getting used. Try this. Get a random journal. What I would suggest is get a journal of something you like, right? If you like the color red, get the color red. It's that simple. Don't write on the cover. As crazy as it sounds, some of you will write your name on the cover, you'll write thoughts or something on the cover. Don't write on the cover, okay? Just go by the color. You can if you would like to. I wouldn't recommend it. Just don't write on it, okay? When you open the first page, write whatever. It doesn't matter. If you write something you don't like, just tear it out. Okay? Now you write on the first page just to get yourself started. So I highly recommend you write the date on the top of the page. So the date is 10/19/40/32. No, I'm kidding. It's actually 7/19/2023. This video might be from the future. I'm kidding, but just have fun with it. Just most of you are not journaling because you're just not you're overthinking the journaling aspect. Write a random thought down. And this is actually how you guys can open some of your spiritual gifts, is by what you'll do is you'll actually identify some of the subjective and objective voices of angels, the higher conscious, your spirit guides, your ancestors, etc. Because sometimes when you think you have a thought that's your idea, and you're like, maybe I should, what's it called? Maybe I should put this, what do you call it? Maybe I should, and this happens to me, maybe I should put this lucky penny under my pillow so when I fall asleep, I can wake up and tomorrow's a really good day because that's the lucky penny that I picked up. And I just gave you guys something that just came into my subconscious because my angels are always giving me different things to help you guys. So yeah, if I'm not someone who did ever not written the journal, I wouldn't have that idea, and I wouldn't recognize my ideas from angels, because angels are here to help us, and they love helping us because, they're helpers to humanities, and I'm an angelologist. I'm someone who works heavily with angels. And how are you able to identify some of the inner voices in your head from angels? I confuse subjective and objective all the time. I hear them inside and outside of my head, so it doesn't like subjective. One of them's, oh great, I confused the information. One of them's with the ears and one of them's with the mind. To be able to tap into them with the mind, you're gonna want to just journal in notebook everything. So just with your journal, with your handy dandy notebook, just start writing thoughts down. If you've been overthinking, you're like, okay, I've got an exam on to, and for some of you in school especially, if you don't write things down and you're in school, you're gonna be ran over like a train, like a truck, and just like. I remember I did not used to do that in my first year of college, and I was like, I have stuff due, and I don't know what stuff is due because I'm trying to keep it in my mind, and it's not making me feel good, and I'm stressed out all the time. No, college experience, and I'm like, okay, let's see what I have due because I have due dates, and I don't even know they are because I was trying to put everything in my mind, but you don't really have to do that to yourself. So I wrote it down. I'm like, okay, biology, I have a report due. In chemistry, I have a homework due on this Saturday, and it's like it's just only 4 assignments, and I was holding it in my head, and I'm like, wait, it's Monday, and they're all due Friday. I'm like, why am I worrying? I thought it was due, like, whatever. I like to get stuff done way ahead of time, but you wouldn't know unless you have journaled it, and it's just one simple thing. Now, you don't have to journal anything serious, like a due date or anything like that. Start writing random thoughts down. The people who become multimillionaires and the people who have the best ideas are people who didn't ignore their thoughts. Some of you, and I'll put some of you on the spot, like some of you who I talk to, and you're like, and the most common thing, listen to these words, I don't know. For people who I love and care about, and people who I will really dig into and make you feel really uncomfortable, because if you're comfortable, you're not really growing, are you? No, you're sitting in your comfort zone, but you want to grow, but you don't really know, and that's the problem. You do know, it's sitting in your subconscious mind, but you need to get it out. So when someone's like, oh, I don't know, I'm like, you do know. Remove the words I don't know from your vocabulary. And write down what you do know. And what's going to happen? It doesn't matter how you got the idea. It doesn't matter where it came from. Write it down. Just write words down. Make it a habit 3 times a day. Like anytime you get an idea, anytime something pops in your head, just write it down. That's it. You write it down. If it's not in order, it doesn't have to be in order. Just don't be a perfectionist about your journaling. In this journal specifically, which I'm not going to open because, I don't know, intuition says don't open the journal on camera. But they're video topics for TikTok. Alright, this one is from a long time ago. So how to tell if someone's sending you the evil eye in a conversation. The next one is how to use black tourmaline to help break a generational curse, etc. But the thoughts are all over the place. And one thing you guys can do as well, with this journal, I know you guys, I said don't write on it. If you really feel inclined, you can take a cross and put it over the journal. You pray that the cross may protect the journal from your ideas being stolen, and none of your ideas are going to be stolen. And this is actually one way that you can basically completely prove your thoughts from being stolen, is because if you ever notice that you have people just stealing your ideas, and you're like, okay, what's going on? I'm not even saying them out loud. I'm not even telling people, why are people stealing my ideas? Take your thoughts, write them down. Take cumin essential oil, or you can put caraway as well. Cumin or caraway, the 2 C's. A lot of herbs start with C's. These herbs are very, they have a weight to them. So certain essential oils, okay. Certain essential oils, certain essences of natures will just flat out have certain potentials to them. And one thing with caraway or cumin, is that it has the energy of like, you're not going anywhere. Stay. That's the energy of caraway. It's like, no. It prevents even demonic entities from being able to get something out of your grips and out of your hands. One thing you can do as well is that you can put a cross. You can anoint your journal with caraway and cumin. You can use them both. They're stronger together. And then you can put it in I would find like a secret drawer, like a dark space. So you can put it in a light space if you want. If you don't you can put it, if you put it in your pillow, you can take the journal. If it's empty, you put it in your pillow. If it's not empty, you can put it in your pillow. It depends on how you feel. It depends on what thoughts go in there. But just start writing everything down. Get in the habit of really writing stuff down. And you're going to notice some of your gifts open more. You connect to some more guides, because a lot of you have your guardian angel directly next to you, and they're literally saying their name like, Hi, I'm from outer space. I got milk you. No, they're not saying that. Your guardian angel like, hi, my name is such and such. Like, hello, and you hear like, ooh, my project's due on Friday. You're like, okay, you're right, your project's due on Friday. You do this, you do this, you do this. And one random, super random day, once you get in the habit of really putting your thoughts and ideas down on a journal, guess what happens? Like, you're like, okay, for example, like you're writing, because you're in the habit of writing random thoughts down, you identify and you can track thoughts, and you're like, okay, what's my guardian angel's name? And one day you just hear like, Rihanna. Oh, that's not going to be your guardian angel's name. No, it could be like, Fred, for example. Like, it doesn't matter. Your guardian angel, if your guardian angel's name is Rihanna, go with more of a, you'll trust your instincts. If it's Rihanna and you just listen to Rihanna, it's probably because you listen to Rihanna. But if it's more of a super random name out of your in your head out of nowhere, it could be an ancestor, it could be a guardian angel, it could be, if you're getting bad thoughts. And one thing I'm going to talk about right now with bad thoughts, good or bad thoughts, write them out in the journal. Most of you are just writing the good thoughts, but you're really confronting the bad thoughts by not confronting them, and that actually doesn't confront them. Yeah, you didn't confront the bad thoughts, but now I'm going to teach you how. You write the bad thoughts out. You write them out with a black Sharpie. Take a red pen, put 3, just basically lines going straight through the bad thoughts, and those thoughts will be killed. You'll murder those thoughts, and they won't come back unless your energy brings them back, unless you try to recall them. When you do this, when you kill those thoughts, it's like, oh, they're dead. It's like, okay, you just defended yourself against bad thoughts. And then you get to really track, where did that bad thought come from? Usually, most of you have if you want to know where bad thoughts come from, I have a whole video on that. It's usually someone someone else you were around during the day has bad thoughts as well. That's caused by an entity, and somehow the entity attached itself to you, and it's sending you bad thoughts as well. So, for example, way back then when I didn't know how to fully close off bad thoughts from other people, I would just be talking to someone. I'm like I was just talking to someone. And I was just talking to someone. I'm like, and I'm used to hearing my angels talk in my head, and I can tell when. And back then I didn't have that mechanism to close off of any other communication, but now I do. Now, I heard just a crazy thought in my head, like something that didn't belong in my head. I'm like, and keep in mind, energy is neither created or destroyed. I'm like, okay, that thought wasn't mine. And once you start tracking your thoughts, you're going to recognize your thoughts, someone else's thoughts, when someone is thinking about you, etc. It doesn't really matter. But when your angel's thinking about you, but when it's someone else's thought, it's so foreign. It's just like, and I remember, let me get back to my story. I was talking to someone when I was sitting down with them. And I just randomly asked, because I identified, I'm like, I know what this is. And I asked the person, do you have a lot of bad thoughts? And that person said, how did you know? And I'm like, because one of them just popped in my head. That's just an example of energy just transferring over. Same thing, that's food for thought. Food for thought. Now write it down. I'm just going to happen to writing stuff down. Your thoughts sometimes are not really yours. Sometimes they are yours. Sometimes they come from the higher version of you. Sometimes they come from yourself. Sometimes they come from ancestors and guides. Sometimes they're coming from a being of darkness. Good indicator that you're talking to an angel or a guardian angel is they only can give messages of love. And they only point you straight to God. They only help you do the best you can possibly do. One way you guys can tell if an angel is an angel or a fallen angel or just a spirit is ask the angel about God and what they think about God. If they start telling you some kind of weird, most of them will be like, you are God. God is inside of you. It's in your mind. You have the power to create your own reality. And most people are like, yes, I am God. No, you're not. You just fell for a trickster spirit or guardian angel. And now your guides are kind of like, oop, this person, we want to help them, but they just succumb to ego. And then you start falling. But if that spirit, or if the angels basically, if they only can give messages of love and light and everything that's good, and they're angels like to have fun, and they're funny, and they're good to have around. When you start talking to beings of darkness, they feed off of fear. So if your thoughts are fear or if they're love, You're writing them down. If you're noticing a bunch of bad thoughts, then you got to really clean out who's around you and who you're dealing with. But this video is very simple. It taught you guys how to get in the power of journaling. If you want to get really intricate with it and you really want to devote yourself into journaling, because you can't, I mean, if you're not writing stuff down, then I really do have to say you're hurting stuff. You're hurting yourself by not writing stuff down, because some of the most brilliant ideas ever come into your mind, and a lot of you just dismiss them, and sometimes they don't come back, or they'll just go to other people. Remember how I said thoughts transfer? I remember it was when I was really young. I was selling like I don't know what I was doing. I was going door to door for like some kind of school thing, and I was like selling cookies or something like that. I don't know what I was doing, but I talked to some. It was a really, really older person, and he said, like, his life story is like, I hope he's still alive. Probably not, but he said, and this is how he introduced himself to me. He's like, I was about to invent the refrigerator. I'm like, okay, what? And then he's like, he showed me a thought that he had on paper, and he's like, this is from this year. Like, I wanted an ice box with a cooler and some trays, and then I waited too long, and all I have is this on paper now. And he didn't use caraway or cumin or a cross on the journal, but the thought popped into his head. He wrote it down, which was cool, but he didn't really do anything with it. So he didn't protect his thought either, but I taught you guys how you can protect your thoughts on paper, because it's really annoying when people try to steal thoughts. There's a way to make thoughts backfire once people do steal them, but you have to keep in mind, if you didn't claim the thought and you just let it run through your head, it's going to someone else. Like, the mechanism of how God created the universe is that eventually someone's going to possess an idea that will take off. For example, like certain mask designs when it came to the event of the world shutting down. So basically the mask design, certain people had certain thoughts, and I was hearing all these people's different thoughts, and I'm like, I've seen this tale before, I've seen this story before. Certain people didn't claim ideas, and they came out and already got invented. Yeah, write your thoughts down, act on the thoughts, and I taught you guys how to protect your thoughts. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao!